Hey guys, welcome back to my weekly report of the games I've been playing. And this week I played 3 games, starting off with Croc and the Legend of the Gobbos. So I did finally finish this game, and that castle region is no joke. The amount of frustration on those levels is insane, and the difficulty spike is also pretty insane. But you know, it is manageable, but you have to make sure you have a bunch of lives. Luckily enough, on the 3rd world, on the 5th level, there is a spot where you can farm lives very easily and very plentiful, so that's good. But I did finish the game, and I didn't do the secret 5th world that you unlock by getting all the gobbos and the jigsaw pieces, and I'm totally cool with that. I had my fun with the game and I was ready to move on from it. So that was Croc and the Legend of the Gobbos. For the next game, of course, is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. So I did finish the game right before Doom the Dark Ages came out, which was on Wednesday, and I have to say, this was an incredible experience. I loved the characters, the story, the writing, the dialogue, like everything about it was just top notch. Really enjoyed the combat. It was engaging. I didn't have to just sit back and just watch the encounters play out. You literally have to be paying attention in order to dodge or parry, as well as maximize the amount of power that your attacks have, which is really nice. There are some social aspects into this game, but they're very basic level because they don't need to be that deep. Because during the camp sections of the game where you can enter camps, you can bond with the other characters, and in doing so you unlock special skills, and just overall really get to know these characters and their quirks very well. Now, this is a very linear experience when it comes to the story up until the end, but like, this game does have an overworld and it is open. You can go pretty much anywhere you want, and certain areas are sectioned off from the open world. So when you like enter like this portal, you enter this certain region of the world, and you can explore within that space as you want, but it is still very linear, and there are hidden secrets, skills, and other stuff that you can obtain. It adds to the overall experience, and you don't have to do everything if you don't want to. I didn't do everything. I did as much as I wanted to, and then I moved on through the story. And even so, I didn't explore a whole lot. Your level isn't really impacted in a negative way if you decide not to do that much side content, because you still get plenty of XP just going through the main missions, which is nice and balanced. And there was a build for a certain character that essentially breaks the game, and the developers have gone out of their way to actually fix that exploit, which is a topic in of its own. But you can still kind of break the game even though they patched it, and you could do pretty devastating amount of damage, which is pretty nice. And overall, I just really enjoyed the game. I do agree this is one of the Game of the Year contenders, and it is a game I consider to be a 10 out of 10, just because how good the story is, how well it makes you attached to the characters and the stakes of the world, and of course all the different twists and turns the story goes through is just pretty insane. But yeah, if you love heavily narrative driven games, this is definitely the game for you. And if you don't mind turn-based combat, or if you enjoy turn-based combat, this is a game for you as well. Like I said before, this kind of reminds me of South Park: The Fractured But Whole, because that game also had quick time events in certain aspects of its combat. But overall, yeah, very great game, highly recommend it. So that was Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And of course, the last game I played during this week is of course Doom the Dark Ages. So the game literally came out yesterday, and I've been playing it for most of the day yesterday, and I reached chapter 6 out of 22. The game does tell you how many chapters it has, and so far I'm pretty surprised with this Doom game. It is different from Eternal and even the first Doom from 2016. So in this one it's more medieval focused, so you have a shield and stuff. You don't have a sword, at least not at the point I am in the game. I'm not sure if there is one, but what's strange about this one is like the game is a little slower than Eternal. Eternal was very fast, but you can adjust the speed of the game, so that is in the accessibility features. And I have to really give props to ID Softworks because they really implemented a lot of accessibility features, and you can fine tune the difficulty the way you want. And the combat, like I mentioned before, is a lot slower, even so. And what's weird is that there's no like executions outright like there was in the previous game. They're still there to some capacity, but like the melee in this game has been made into an actual like weapon, so you can't just melee everything you want with your fist. You need ammo, which is called melee ammo, in order to melee enemies, and when you do, you get ammo. But you can use the shield as a melee weapon, which is really cool. The shield is really cool. Like, you can literally launch yourself across the room to melee an enemy. You can throw your shield like if you were Captain America, which is really cool. And eventually you do get an upgrade for the shield where it becomes a saw shield, and you can embed the shield into enemies, which is really cool. And of course you got your different weapons. You got your shotguns, your assault rifles, your plasma rifles, and this new weapon called the Shredder, if I remember correctly, where it literally breaks down skulls in order to shoot bone projectiles, which is really cool. And overall the aesthetic is very unique to this game. Of course there's plenty of demons, there's definitely a lot of portals that you need to eradicate. And the story so far, there is a story that's a little more in depth than I thought it was going to be. So the Slayer is being controlled by this group of people, and they unleash the Slayer to eradicate the demons, but they recognize that the Slayer is a very dangerous individual, that they don't want to let him loose completely without having some control over him. But he's gradually becoming more resistant to their control. But yeah, so that's basically what I got from the story, and I don't know how or where the story is going to go from here. But of course this game is a lot more open than Eternal. There's more of a open playing field and more of a sense to explore. Of course there's secrets and different like collectibles that you can get and codexes. It's still very Doom at its core, but it is very different from Eternal. And honestly, I'm really liking the game. I do miss the executions though. The one thing that really surprised me about this game is they're focused on the campaign. So this game does not include a multiplayer component, so it's just a single player campaign. And you do have 22 chapters like I've said. So I don't know how long the game is going to be. I am trying to do everything in the game because Doom is very linear at its core. So what I'll leave you is I am liking the game, and as of right now I do like Eternal's fast-paced combat a little more than the Dark Ages. But you know, I'm still very much enjoying the game. It's still Doom, and if you like Doom, you're more than likely going to like this game. But if you like Eternal's fast-paced combat, the Dark Ages is going to be a little disappointment in that department. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it. So that was Doom, the Dark Ages. So that was all the games I played this week. And once again, what games have you played during this week? What are your thoughts and what are you looking forward to in the coming months? Anyways guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.